Bankruptcy Basics. Let's talk about it. I want to share some general thoughts, is that bankruptcy isn't something people plan for, all right? I have met a couple folks that plan for it, but for the most part, they don't. The average person that comes to my office, this is their story. I have a lot of debt. I've blown through my savings. I've blown through my retirement trying to pay off these credit card debts, and I really have nothing else. I can't do anything else. I have no other options. That's kind of the average client, unfortunately. So we talked to them about bankruptcy. Typically they go through it, and their typical response is, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this 2 years ago? I would still have had money in retirement and savings. So that really is the typical client. And typically they feel depressed, they feel like they failed in life, and I remind them of a couple things. All right? First and foremost is that bankruptcy is designed to help people. That it's not an immoral thing, it's not an unethical thing. Ultimately, we have a system of government that says, you know what, if you need help, we're here to help you. Some countries don't have that. Some countries have debtors' prisons, where if you can't pay your debt, it's a problem, all right? But here, at least in the United States, we have the ability to actually file bankruptcy. I also remind people that bankruptcy's been around for a while, all right? For example, if you grab your Bible and you go to the Old Testament, all right, you'll find out that in the Old Testament, every 7 years, if you're part of the Jewish community, that all your debts were forgiven. And that's called the sabbatical year. So it goes back for a while. However, if you're part of the Jewish community back then, and you're a foreigner, you don't get a chance to take advantage of the sabbatical year. You have to wait until something called the year of Jubilee, which is the 7th year of the sabbatical year, or 49 years. On the 50th year, all your debts can be forgiven. So I remind folks, listen, this concept of bankruptcy and forgiveness of debt has been around for a while. The objective of bankruptcy, from my perspective, is you want to keep all your stuff. When you file bankruptcy, it's a trade-off. You have a bunch of debt, and you say, I'm willing to get rid of this debt, but you may have to give something up, all right? So my job as an attorney is to make sure that my clients don't lose anything. We work really hard to make sure that that trade-off between our debt and between our assets is one in which our clients have something called a no-asset case, meaning they don't lose anything. And that's really the objective, and we work really hard to use the bankruptcy code to protect those assets. So our objective in this process is to make sure that clients keep all their stuff. And remember the end game. The end game in bankruptcy is to be debt-free. That's a good thing. You know, for folk that have just been struggling with debt for years and years and years, they can file and realize, provided you get a discharge at the end, which we'll talk about what that means, you're done. You don't have any credit card debt. And it's just for a lot of folks, it's just really, it's a good place to be. And so many